Yes, let me just say that your question about what is called a crisis center is not uncommon. This had played itself out already on Facebook. I had asked this question already in Parliament, where the minister was asked, in light of all the issues that affect women and children in St. Vincent, where the one shelter is adequate, or where the government is satisfied that this one shelter is enough. And the response that we got was yes. Now, of course, we don't believe that one shelter for all of the issues that we have for women and children in St. Vincent. We were told that this particular shelter, and I understand why many of us don't know the location because of security issue, right? But I think in my practice, in my legal practice, when I meet women, I've had, say, if I have dealt with 5, I have had 3 persons say that I was. Just recently, a young lady told me that she went black and blue and tried to enter or get service through the shelter, and she was not given access. It's not the first time I'm hearing that. The thing is, it does exist. The thing is, we don't know what the protocol is for accessing the shelter. And that is something that I believe it's high time that the ministry makes some type of awareness program of what it is, or let people know. Whether you make posters and put them in the community health centers, or whether you put them in schools with children in kid form language so that children can understand that if you need help and protection, there's a place that you can go. Here's a telephone number that you can call, or here's a WhatsApp number you can WhatsApp. Here's an email address you can email to, and here is a Facebook page you can inbox a message so that you can get help. Because until such time, everybody thinks that it's a phantom crisis center.
All right, I'm so glad that you said that, you know, you come to realize that she's been sleeping for so long and she's now ready to roar. I think we should really give her a round of applause for that. I want to just briefly say that it's a good time to be a part of the Public Service Union for the sort of drive that we have right now, where our members are concerned and people generally. It's really a good time to be a part of the union, and it's a good time to it's a good time to be a woman.
Yes, it is.
It's a good time to be a woman. You know, launching the whole campaign about my life, my right, my dignity, say enough is enough. The birthing ground really it was at a trade union conference where last year I spoke to sexual harassment from the streets to the workplace in Anguilla, and thus far I've been invited to speak to the same issue in Antigua in July, sexual harassment and its effects on quality public services. So I don't know, the years before I become an executive member of the PSU, I've not been hearing about PSU, but you are hearing about PSU now because we have a new vision going forward. And I must thank my current leadership, our President Elroy Boucher, because he believes in pushing young people, young workers, youths, to take leadership positions. He believes in pushing them to be a part of the whole decision-making body of the Public Service Union. And he has afforded me this opportunity while I'm here as the second vice president. And I also want to thank him and the executive generally, even for affording me this opportunity to see this idea become a reality. Because when we thought of, you know, when I proposed this to them, you know, I remember telling people here on the phone, on WhatsApp, and they were like, that sounds so political. You know, what of sexual exploitation, sexual harassment, sexual violence, the uncomfortable conversation, what makes it so political? Because these are issues that continue to affect our women and girls. And I keep telling people, if you really want to know what a story is, you probably need to come and sit and have a conversation with me. And since I've been a part of the Public Service Union, I've learned of child labor. And I wept. I wept some night ago because I realized I was actually a victim of child labor. Because when you find out what constitutes child labor, then you realize the sort of life that you grew up in. and the sort and the different forms of abuse and these sort of things. And sometimes people will say, if you were not brought up that way, you won't be the person you are today. If someone had intervened 20, 25 years ago and I was a victim of child labor, a victim of physical abuse and verbal abuse and emotional abuse and you name it, I probably could have been a better person today. But don't tell me what I've been through with all them sort of abuse, that makes me what I am today. Maybe it has contributed, but it could have done a whole lot more if there were people or a system that intervened for me. And that is why I want to put a stop to it now by saying enough is enough. Because 20 years from now, when my daughters are 37, 34, and 33, they are not going to be victims of anything as long as I'm alive. They are not going to be victims of anything in this country. And that is why I am speaking out now, and I thank the Public Service Union for this opportunity. And also when we invited the National Council of Women, they jumped on board right away. We also tried to get others on board, but they were looking at the dollar. We tried to get other persons from the esteemed systems, and they were just beating around the bush, not availing themselves to come and speak to the issue. And if we want change, we have to be that change, and we have to do it collectively. If it even takes one person to even hold that placard that says enough is enough, no problem. When Rosa Parks was on the bus, she was only one. So I am happy that you are awake, and I'm taking this opportunity to encourage even the women who are here to get on board. The Women's Committee and the Women's Network, jump on board. This campaign is not about me. This is about helping our women, even within the trade union movement, that there's some place that you can actually come and place your situation, and it will be confronted. If you are fearful, it's okay. I have a very big mouth, and I know how to get things done. You understand what I'm saying? So come forward wherever you are. It's interesting that persons who are not even in the union have reached out to me so far about their issues, and we're having that conversation. And I know they're home listening to this uncomfortable conversation that we are having and had to have. So, panel, I got a little passionate, I don't want anybody to knock me out. So just your final comments quickly, because we are absolutely out of time.
Let me just say, and my final comment, I've said a lot about where we have come from, where we need to go. But my final comment will be a response to what you said as to why people think, and maybe to some extent, I didn't get a chance to respond to what Lucia said in political, but Jomo to some extent has responded. Why is it that people said it's political, they will want to join? Ronnie mentioned that civil society is almost non-existent, and what you have left are two political parties always rearing. And so the issue of the elimination of discrimination against women and children, girls, as it relates to violence, then becomes a political issue. As in, what are the political parties going to do about it, and what has the political party in power been doing about it? And we realize from what my presentation has shown is that there has been a protracted manner in either bringing legislation, or if we had time to go through what the services are. The young lady talk about the crisis center that is so required, but we only have one, and there seems to be no intention of having any other crisis center in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Didn't talk about the foster care system. That is something that needs restructuring to help our children to get the kind of protection that is required. So when we say it becomes a political issue, it's for the reasons that I've said before, and also because, as Kenson pointed out, most time we often want to put a partisan flavor on it rather than a bipartisan approach in dealing with the issues that affect us. Thank you.
Thank you. Sister Makala, your final comments?
My final comments is for everyone here to go away knowing that they have been somehow empowered. You now have the knowledge, you now have the understanding, your eyes have been opened, and the ball is in your court. It's for you to go away from here now knowing that you do have a voice, if not from the political parties that I've been hearing about, you have it in the PSU. And PSU, as we see right now, is not only speaking for our members, it's speaking for society itself. And we have to continue to push this PSU forward so that they would be able now to hold persons accountable for what is really required to ensure that everyone's human rights is put into place, especially the human rights for women and girls. And I applaud the PSU. I continue to applaud the PSU because everyone that stands is saying they applaud the PSU. So I have no choice to applaud the PSU as well for being the only ones to have this uncomfortable or perceived uncomfortable conversation. Because if actors in America and in Britain and across the world are protesting against Harvey Weinstein and the sexual harassment allegations, why is it that we in the third world, in inverted commas, cannot do the same? Why are we saying that these conversations are uncomfortable, yet we watch CNN News every day? We watching CNN News every day and we hearing women coming out and saying, oh, he touched me, he rubbed me, he groped me, he tell me, like me, I don't like he, all kinds of things. And we say, yeah, power to them. Power to yourselves. Go away from here knowing you have been empowered and you have the right to speak out against what affects you. And thank you for having me.
Sister Beverly and our lone gentleman will give his final comments. Sister Beverly.
Okay, let me thank you participants for this enlightening discussion we had here this evening. And I just want to remind us that sexual harassment and exploitation knows no boundaries, it knows no color, no political color. As we see, and we would have heard in our own spheres, we would have heard the different issues that would have taken place in our society. So let us not succumb, do not prepare to succumb to anything, but stand up for something, and we are agents of change. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Beverly. Brother Ronnie.
Okay, I just want to simply join our my fellow panelists and those of you who've commented in congratulating the PSU and the National Council of Women for a job well done. But the conversation has to continue in various forms and places, leading to something tangible that will begin to, as I say, disrupt the trend. And we have an opportunity now. It's 2 years or so from our general elections. And I want to put it on the table that road will build here and there, and hospital will fix and so on. Those are things that we have to talk about. But we have to put this on the political agenda. And otherwise, we go in nowhere, as Jomo said earlier. We have to put it and give flesh to it. And I think this conversation has been sufficiently robust and passionate, but we have to go the other steps. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that the issue gets on the political agenda for discussion and for action. That's the only way, really. And again, I need to emphasize that we are all part of smaller groups in our communities, our churches, our community groups, our work groups. It seems to me that we have an opportunity to push the agenda. And certainly from where I sit, from the university level, it's an issue that is taken seriously. And the university has resources that we could use across this region. And I want to pledge my support in assisting in any future collaboration that will lift the discussion and lead to some tangible expression of our goal to end and to stop violence, the kinds of violence that is perpetrated on our children, our girls and our women. The university has a very well-resourced Institute of Gender and Development Studies, and we need to make use of them and other departments. And I want to pledge my commitment to assisting in collaborating in any way. All right? Thank you very much.
Please give the panelists another round of applause. Thank you. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you as well, audience. You've been a great audience. Give yourself a round of applause, please. And to all those who are home listening via Nice Radio, thank you so much for joining us on this discussion. Thank you to media as well, SVG Television, for being with us, and Nice Radio as well. And if there's any other media entity in the house, thank you very much, Cap Balcom, always ready to accommodate us. Thank you so much. March 8th is International Women's Day. There will be a march held here in Kingstown, 4 laps around Kingstown, under the theme Women's Rights are Human Rights. I'm taking this opportunity to invite you to be a part of that march. We also expect our brothers to join us on the march as well. And thank you, Kenson, for the live Facebook feed as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you, panel, for availing yourself and giving me a resounding yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And most of all, we want to give God all the thanks and praise, for a vision like this, and we've all lived to see it unfold. And this will not be the only conversation we will have. We will have much more. Stay tuned to the Public Service Union, and we will share more with you about our plans and also what's happening under the campaign. For those of you who wish to submit your reviews about this panel discussion, you can send it at sayenoughisenough2018@gmail.com. That's sayenoughisenough2018@gmail.com. Join the PSU page, and of course, join the union if you're not a part of the union. Thank you so much. My name is Javelle Frank. I've been your moderator, and I'm the second vice president of the Public Service Union, wishing you a blessed evening.
Introducing the new and improved Lasco 1 and Up, milk and soy food for kids 1 to 4 years old. Lasco 1 and Up, now enhanced with prebiotics to help strengthen your baby's sensitive immune system.
It's specially formulated with minerals and vitamins, plus protein for growth and development.
1 and Up can make baby less vulnerable to colds, colic, and other childhood illnesses. Lasco 1 and Up, delicious and nutritious, the right choice for your growing child.
And Lasco, you are truly amazing, and we want to thank you for your awesome sponsorship of this panel discussion. And we pray that God may continue to bless you all and keep you, and we will see the expansion of your business for 2018 going forward. Thank you so much, Lasco.